Greetings, Commanders. Our next track is Finding Earth by Damien Wells. Damien's music can be found at soundcloud.com/DKW_music. Enjoy.
Hello Commanders, my name is Devastat and next up is my track called Road to Village. If you'd like to listen to more of my work, please visit soundcloud.com/devastat. Fly safe and enjoy the show here on Lave Radio.
Of the puzzle always freezes on me. It's almost too late for you and me. I want to drink in the way of which he would have done, drinking like it would stop being fun. The end of the day, if I can't have you to myself, don't want anyone else. Something's gone I can't replace. Don't want anyone. Wasting your time, you'll never have one. A photo of a moment complete. Pull on the best black dress you could spill wine on, and look at the tears from all his fake friends that you won't see again. And if I can't have you to myself, don't want anyone else. Something's gone I can't replace. Don't want anyone. And if I can't have you
This is Fatal Nut, and you're about to listen to my track, Grace of the Emperor, on Lave Radio. Visit me and other great Elite Dangerous players over at www.emperorsgrace.com. Thank you, and enjoy.
It's time to pick up arms, to reclaim our space, to become the hand of the Emperor.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
and the fantastic
Community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to the episode 489 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, otherwise known as Colin Ford, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder for this evening, we have our SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Turner.
Hello, good evening and welcome. I don't know why I said that. That's somebody's catchphrase, isn't it? Hello.
Oh, he's dead now. You can use it. We also have our staff liaison officer, Commander Sykett, otherwise known as Claire.
Hello. Hi. All right.
Hey. Sounding incredibly cheerful, which brings me on to the head of health and safety, Ben Mosswoodward, otherwise known as Commander Ed Levice.
Get off my fucking lawn and stop ejecting your bloody occupied escape pods in the middle of Shanat and Desra trying to bomb everybody. You twats.
Yes, and we are now looking for an anger management specialist. If anybody would like to apply for the role.
Who's doing that? What a counterproductive use of a human's time. That's
Harness
really
your anger. Feed your fear.
What
No,
a counterproductive use of time. Weird.
Use your anger, boy.
we have cookies.
Oh no. What's that from? What's the use
That's
of anger?
the
word
Emperor.
from?
I was. Well,
Okay, my
Yeah,
guys.
You've got
My
to
guys
remember,
don't-
Alec can't do a good Emperor impression.
no.
I wouldn't have known it if it was an Emperor impression. You know this. Don't. We're getting my guy in early at this point. I don't fucking know.
Anyway, if you wish, you can join us live. Both Ben and the Chris Mark IV are heading over to our reserved table over at the Lave Station bar. So go join them if you wish. And but be careful, Ben will be grumpy and tell you to get off his lawn.
I was having fun playing bumper cars with occupied escape pods. I should have scooped them and given them to Etty, shouldn't I? Damn it.
Anyway,
that was a mistrick.
if you can't get to us in game, you could also join the Twitch chat, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio, or even live on YouTube. Look for Lave Radio. So, let's have a quick. I'm scared of this one, to be honest. A quick run on the crew, see how they've been doing for the last week. So we'll get Ben out of the way.
I've been playing Nurse Ben. Yeah, I've been playing Nurse Ben for the past week, and nobody wants to hear about my escapades cleaning various bodily fluids up.
Okay. we'll just move on to Alec then.
Hello. What have I been doing? Nothing as exciting as the previous weeks and going on cruises or anything. I did. So you know, I got myself a nice new PC, and as one does when one specs a PC, you set yourself a budget, and if you're good, you try and stick to it. Well,
and then for everybody else, you add on another few £100.
Well, no, so I was good, and one of the compromises I made was on the amount of storage I fitted. I thought, well, you know, a terabyte will do, and then, you know, down the line, I'll find a bargain sooner or later, and I'll get some more storage. And well, after I'd got everything set up and got Elite installed and Half-Life Alyx and a bunch of other VR games, and turns out I'd already filled 75% of my terabyte. Which is, I don't know, I didn't like having the disk of my brand new PC 75% full. That didn't feel right. So I went off and did some research and bought myself 2 more terabytes of M2 storage, which I should have just had fitted in the first place. Because then, when I looked closely and sort of asked them where they'd fitted the existing storage, it looked like I was going to have to remove the graphics card to get the storage in, which a bit worrying because I'm not that au fait with doing stuff like that. Thankfully, it turned out that the N2 they'd fitted was in the other slot, and the spare slot was just about accessible if you had very long fingers and long pin nose pliers and long screwdrivers and things. So yay, I now have 3 terabytes. That will be surely more than enough. I will never
last shot next week.
Don't say that. Holy shit!
Never going to fill that 3 terabytes. That'll last forever. That will.
Oh no! You like taking videos, don't you, Alec?
Yeah, I'm very good at deleting all my videos when I've uploaded them. Anyway, so that's one thing, and then in game, I've been doing 2 things in game, kind of. One thing I can't really talk about, but I will tease. I might be doing a thing for ECM. It's still a might, because I need to decide if it's going to be shit or not. I haven't decided whether it's going to be shit or not. But
are you about a live buckyball race?
No, it's not a live buckyball race. I won't reveal anything more about it, but I've been doing quite a lot of work on that, and I'm very close. I should know this week whether it's going to be shit or not, and decide if I'm actually going to do it. And then I've been doing buckyball practice. We'll talk about the buckyball race later, but it's really good. It's really good. We'll talk about it later, but I'm loving it. It's so good.
Cool. Right, Claire.
Hi. What have I been up to? Oh my god, I've not stopped working. I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention. The week before last, on Saturday, I was in that charity stream. I didn't mention that last week. I was in that charity stream for the British Red Cross. It was the Would I Lie to You game. That was really fun. Until they handed me a lie that was actually true, and I was like, shit. So that was really fun. I forgot to mention it. We raised in 6 hours. The 10 of us raised over 1,500 quid for the British Red Cross, which was a really nice thing. And it's got me planning. And I've spent a lot of stuff this week and over the last couple of weeks have been planning for various meetups and doing lots of paperworky type things in the background, and then also planning for a big thing that I'm doing towards the end of summer, which I'm having another meeting about tomorrow. So there's a lot of things that are going on that I've been breaking my head about. I've been playing an awful lot of a game called Galacticaire, which has just come out. That we were playing it last week as well. It's if I was to compare it to any other game, I would compare it to 2 Point Hospital. But it's in space and it is funny. It is so funny. It references so many British comedies. Like there's Red Dwarf references, there's Hitchhiker's Guide references. There was a Doctor Who reference. There's a Reality Bomb reference. It's so chock full of British sci-fi staples, and it's just a absolute riot from start to finish. Fucking adored that game. Been dabbling in mods in Mass Effect, and I've also been buckyballing, which is an absolute delight. But I'm sure Alec and I will wax lyrical about it later.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's see what I've been up to. I discovered the joys of going up to Blackpool on a Saturday on a very sunny day, which was the only sunny day that we've had for the last month. And yeah, that was quite nice. In game, let's see. I have been just discovering the joy of the SEO drive, because I am running more missions left, right, and centre than I ever have before in a shorter time as ever. And also, well, I got involved in the good old bomb of the weekend. So, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, so I've had quite a productive day week in Elite Dangerous. Oh, and I really am getting on with Cyberpunk 2077. I am really enjoying that game.
Who are you romancing?
Panem. Girl out in the desert.
I know who Panam is. How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, she's not into Vagine, so couldn't romance Panam, but it's all right. I have Judy. It's not a problem.
Yes,
Forever and always.
Oh yeah, Judy is quite cute, but she doesn't.
Judy is quite cute. Is the understatement of the fucking century, Colin.
I have enough disk space to install this game now.
Install it! Install it, play a girl so you can romance Judy.
You can install it, but you can't install anything else.
Doesn't matter. You don't need anything else.
You don't need anything else.
It can't be that big.
That's what she said.
Nah.
Hey!
Right, moving on. Right, quickly before it starts getting worse. Development news. What have the devs said this week? Well, on Thursday last week, we got a bit of a surprise. They announced update 18.06, which went live today. Apparently, at the moment, there are a couple of troubles with it, which they are looking into. And yeah, so we'll have to monitor that situation as it goes. I haven't been able to log in today so far, so I don't know whether I'm going to be affected. But it has basically been a lot of modifications to the Thargoid War. There's been changes to the way the contribution and the bounty is handled. The system difficulties have changed. The ways that the spires affect the background simulation has been changed. And also, same for the Counter-Strike changes. The big one for me is the Titan vulnerability changes, because that's just gone from incredibly complicated to incredibly simple. And there was a couple of small bugs that they put in as well. Looking through the list of things that were there, has anything jumped out at you guys?
Yes. Go. No, you go for it, Alec.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the Titan vulnerability. So is this the thing where there used to be about 4 different states of kind of core defense level, and now it's just binary? It's just weak. It's invincible.
Yeah, I think there was there 4 or was there 5? I think there was about 5 levels of vulnerability to it.
Compromised and
until vulnerable and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing was that didn't seem to be working, so they've gone and simplified it straight away. It's a case of you manage to, if the Thargoid Titan controls more than 4 or more control systems, you can't touch it. If it's 3 or less, then basically it's open season.
Yeah, I do find that a really interesting change, because as a kind of, I don't know, a sort of software developer myself, and I like the appeal of the sliding scale. It seems like the right way to do it. You know, that it gets weaker and weaker as you, and it's fascinating that in practice it was either there's no point or no, everyone attack it. It really was like binary, and it's interesting that Frontier have just gone, oh hell, make it binary, rather than tweaking and trying to make the sliding scale work. But
well, one thing that I did notice is that for the last 2 Titans, they just got it straight down to the lowest vulnerability anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe they figured, well, the guys are that good at it, we might as well not bother with the sliding scale.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is down to the fact that what Alec was saying, no one did anything. If the Titan wasn't like fully vulnerable, no one tried to attack the Titan. So they may as well have said that in realizing that in realizing that
people
there
are
wasn't
involved, like people are involved, and and mobs are involved. You need either everyone to do it, or like a few dozen people go, let's take it on at this middle level.
Yeah,
they haven't got a chance.
in realizing that we didn't like we're all following. We're all getting AXI or PDES instructions to our Discords, or insert name of other anti-Xeno operation group.
Other anti-Xeno operations are available.
I've got this image in my head. I've got this image in my head of Meccan running into the desert, going, "I'm not the Messiah. Get away! Get away!"
but there are like other anti-Xeno groups, and there's the DCOH, and everyone. It's a massive community effort, and everyone is coordinating together. So, in the grand scheme of things, it makes sense that it is binary, because no one was caring either way. So to give it extra names is extra work, maybe, and it's less indicative to give it a try. Back in the time, we were back along. We were giving it a go and seeing how we got on. We don't need to anymore. That kind of thing. That's my mentality.
So Claire, you've got some opinions.
Yeah, no, I don't have opinions. I just thought it was funny how funny in a oh, I can't believe they've done that kind of way. I can't believe you've done that. They the reduction in bounty payout for the authoress. I mean, it's still a lot. It's still a lot of money. It's still a lot of money, and I kind of understand it, because for those people who just go and just farm authors when they don't respond, the easiest thing to do is to make it take more time and make you get bored with it quicker instead of making your money higher. I guess that feels like an easy thing to do. I do feel like our original given these changes, our original estimates for how long it was going to take before the war finished is may now need revising.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Which direction? Because I find all this there's a lot in this, and I don't have a sense. I don't have an overall sense of whether it's now easier or harder.
I feel like it's easier.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that they said, we're looking through these notes, and all these things are available in the show notes later, but they've said that they have noticed that the easiest way to affect the simulation was by sampling scouts. That's gone, or it's been reduced.
Good.
So that it forces people to actually do other combat actions or rescue people from stations, which is to tell you the truth, I definitely agree with Commander Meccan on this, because we've been asking for that for absolute months, at least 6 months, because first of all, there's a problem with the authors finding the damn authors in the system, in the alert systems in the first place, so you couldn't stop an alert that way, and then everyone found the sampling scouts thing, which turned the war completely on its head. Then they decided, okay, we've fixed the issue with the author, so it now spawns more often in alert sites. But by then, nobody was bothered going looking for the authoress, because basically it was too effective to sample the scouts. So now I'm hoping at this point that when you do take down an authoress in a system, it has, well, first of all, it's significantly easier for one person to solo it. In an alert site, I haven't managed to do one yet. I've still got to manage to do it, and I've got to try. Got Python 2 rather, built specifically for it, and I'm going to be doing that this week to see how difficult it is. But I'm hoping they've made that easier. But the fact that I'm hoping that the fact that they've dropped the bounty so much reflects the fact that they've made it slightly easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm interested to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing more posts from like instructions and orders from the other anti-Xeno groups are available to see what the how they're faring and what their recommendations are going forward for combat. It's intriguing to me and I like it.
I don't want to derail this, but I've just been reminded of something that we haven't mentioned in what we've been doing last week. Something,
go quickly.
Something massive happened last weekend, which we haven't mentioned at all. Haddad exploded.
I was going to bring. I did mention it, and we were going to bring it up later.
Okay, cool. We'll come back to it. Good.
Yes, because I wanted to mention it, and because as surprisingly enough, we've hardly got any Galnet.
No.
No.
We'll mention
Yeah.
that. Good.
Yeah. One thing I did notice though is that the way that if you hit the Spire sites, it's got this kind of real knock-on effect now. I'm sure that wasn't there before.
Yeah, that would be great because the Spire sites are great. What I'm really hoping, because we don't know the numbers, but I'm really hoping that poisoning has a nice big effect because I love doing that. I'd like that to be effective because I'd really like to do more of that and have it count for something.
Yeah, well, according to this, if you do start poisoning those sites, the effect on other control systems, it could mean that if you manage to take down one Spire site, that means 10 control systems from that for that Titan go down.
Cool.
Yeah, it's called spread pushback, according to who said that? One of the developers said that, and it sounds intriguing. So
spread pushback, the counter anti-40 sort of year-old thing. You're just pushing back that spread.
Don't know.
I don't understand what that was.
No, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Welcome back, Ben.
I've been here, but you lot have just been rabbiting away.
We've been talking about the video game that we do.
I know, we've been talking about the video game about this thing.
Yikes!
Remember, he's been cleaning up poop for the last week. Come on,
okay.
Yeah, give him a break.
But I do like, I do like anything that involves more things around spires is a good thing.
Yeah, Commander Lennon's saying spread pushback sounds like a 70s cartoon villain.
It genuinely does.
Only if you've got a clean mind.
Yeah. See, I was more thinking the middle-aged spread is basically where my mind was going with.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Now we're kind of see where you're getting at.
I'm glad that you having to explain the joke made it entirely worth it.
And it made it funnier, obviously.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I must admit, the amount of changes that are in this is quite extensive. They've also added in extra things for Counter-Strike systems. Now, I'm going to have to show my ignorance here. I've never done anything apart from actually going to one of the, where you've got to sneak into one of the sites while they've got revenants and banshees flying about. What other things are available to do at Counter-Strike systems?
Are these the things where you go and is this like a reactivation mission? Is that what they're talking about by that?
Well, no, it says Counter-Strike systems offer a variety of gameplay options to fight the Thargoids. To better synergize the Spire mechanics, improvements to the Counter-Strike marking rules have been made. Yeah.
Farthest control system to a Titan are now marked as Counter-Strike regardless of direction. Maybe they're just easier. Maybe there'll be AXCZs there where it's easier for people to fight. I feel like I'm not confident enough to be able to comment on that either. I've got no point of reference for that.
Well, they have said that additionally new anti-Xeno combat zones will now spawn in Thargoid-controlled systems that are marked for Counter-Strike. I don't think they were there before, but the fact that, and of course, as soon as you start taking down Thargoids in those zones, that obviously contributes to the chevrons, which mean that the system's going to be safe. So, just quickly going, what's everybody's impression of this? Does this mean that they're trying to accelerate the end of the Thargoid War, or do you think it's going to drag it out a bit more?
I still
think
don't
it's going to
know.
be accelerated.
I still don't know because in amongst here, you know, in amongst these notes, there's a lot of kind of changed this and balanced that, and it could mean, you know, spread pushback targeting is now dynamic. I don't know whether that's going to be easier or harder. I think it remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the interesting things is because they've cut down on the scout sampling. That might mean it might give the Thargoids a bit of a boost because we don't know at the moment how to stop alert systems all that well.
Scout sampling, particularly with the AXI initiative of loading up fleet carriers, you know, meant that there was vast capability to, you know, to use scout sampling on a kind of mass scale gathered from hundreds of commanders and deploy it very effectively. With that removed, you know, that could put quite a crimp. I think we'll have to wait and see. You know, it's great. You know, from a game perspective, it's fantastic that doing, you know, that they've spread it around and that there's more all sorts of things you can do to be effective in the war. But so I think game-wise, it's going to be great. But I don't know. I still don't know whether it means it's going to be easier or harder. It's not clear to me.
Right. Okay. Well, the other piece of news is that tomorrow Frontier Unlock's happening. We've seen tweets from Arthur saying he's back off holiday and he's really looking forward to it and stuff like that. A little bit of speculation. What do you think we'll see?
Have you been on Facebook? Is a phrase I've never thought I would ever say ever. Have you seen the Frontier post on Facebook?
No.
No. It's on Facebook.
Well, yeah. I mean, it involves going on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook, but my husband occasionally does. And he saw the Frontier post on Facebook, and only on Facebook, not anywhere else, they said that we're going to get our first look at the Type 8.
Ooh. Interesting. At a ship that
so if I was to speculate...
Okay.
If I was to speculate, I reckon we're probably going to see the Type 8. It's on Twitter now, is it? Okay. So,
I think the most important question for Elite Dangerous commanders is: will Elite Dangerous be the final thing in the show again?
Probably.
Yeah. Interesting. Aren't they doing a big feature on Formula One on this one?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this. The Formula One thing is you design your own team from the scratch up, and from what I've seen of the previews, a lot of people are raving about it, which is you know, a nice change of narrative considering everybody thinks that it's just the same game with another number on the end. I'm hoping it works for them. I really do. So yes, so watch out tomorrow at 6 for Frontier Unlocked, where we will see the first look of the Type 8. Any idea? Just random? Are you wanting it to be a miniature Panther Clipper?
I don't know. Logic
says it's halfway between a 7 and a 9, doesn't it? But...
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, we know it's supposed to be combat focused. We've like Arthur mentioned that in a tweet in a reply to someone. It's buried somewhere.
Hang on, the Type 8 is combat focused. Oh, I'm disappointed already.
That's my understanding. That's my understanding, but I don't. I thought we knew it was combat focused. The fact that you guys are aghast at that is a problem. Yeah, mini Type 10 would be my guess.
Oh,
like a slightly smaller Type 10, which is Type 10 be combat focused.
Yeah, it could be.
A Type 10, but just shrunk down enough to fit on a medium pad. That's it. Yeah, cool.
Oh, right, fair enough then.
Sorry, sorry for the disappointment.
Yeah, there was me thinking, perhaps we're going to get a trading vessel or something like that, or even a smuggling vessel. But
the thing that we do definitely know is that it's going to be optimized for SEO use.
Yes.
Let's give that.
Let's give that a throw out. Yeah. One thing
we know that.
one thing I did like is the fact that in the previous show note, in the previous patch notes, it sort of said, although 4 Titans are still active and a threat to the galaxy, if you've yet to engage the Thargoids, you can join the fight by jumping in and buying this AX Combat Jumpstart Alliance Chieftain. Subtle, guys.
I mean, they've got to try and get the bag, haven't they? They've got to grift. Otherwise, we'll have no content. And that's how it works. Yeah, that's why they put the ARC's price up so much.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move away before someone gets the soapbox out and we all have a go.
It's all right. We've done that many times already.
Yeah, Ben's had a go on the soapbox, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think we all have at this point.
Yeah, okay. So we're all soapboxed out. So let's move on to the community news.
And now, to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Off you go, Alec.
Okie doke. We're off. Yeah, not vast amount this week, but a few good things. There's an awesome new thing from the High Wake, usual High Wake YouTube cartoon, but this one's a quiz. It's awesome. It's so cute. There's the little SRV goes around the planet, which sort of holds up a little sign showing you which number in the quiz it is, and there's the answer to each. It's a multi-choice quiz, and the answer to each quiz has a little animation that sort of flies past when the time's up. It's great. How did everyone do? I managed 8. I think I fluked it slightly, as one does with multi-choice, but I managed 8, which I thought was all right. 8 out of 13, is it? Anyone else done it?
I would not be able to tell you how many I got.
Oh, okay.
I was 8 or 9 or something like that. Yeah.
There was definitely a number that I got.
It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Be able to tell you.
It's a lot of fun.
I never knew about Empire Day.
No, I didn't. I assumed was one of the answers. There is no date, and I assumed it was that. I didn't know there was a date.
Oh,
January, I believe, January the 2nd or something.
Yeah, that's what it was, but that's a date, not no date.
But I loved the little bits. I mean, I had to watch it twice because once I was doing the quiz and thinking very hard about it and not paying attention, so I then watched it again. And the little animations are great. So, like the one about Jack's station. Oh, I'm going to give the answer away now. That's difficult. That's awkward. Anyway, there's a lovely little animation with a sort of robotic arm floating past the window.
I love that so much.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so watch it twice, do the quiz, and then watch it again for the animations because it's great stuff. The next thing is quite lengthy. We have been sent a thing from Matt Winston of the East India Corporation, and I was going to summarize it, but it's quite difficult to summarize. So I think I will read it out. It's quite interesting because I think sometimes we can sort of be slightly unaware of these battles between player groups that are going on in the BGS, but they are going on, and sometimes they're quite a big deal. And yeah, so this is a thing called the Lumen 16 Accords, as ratified by EIC, which is the East India Company, and SDC, not that one. This is the Seoul Defense Coordinator.
What a caveat!
Yeah, not that one. So it goes as follows. The East India Company and Seoul Defense Coordinated are pleased to announce the ratification of the Lumen 16 Accords. The Accords established the de facto 25 light-year Federation border around Seoul, along with a mandate for the EIC to withdraw from certain systems. The Accords come in the wake of the company's Project Icarus, a project to extend company influence as close as possible to Seoul in order to profit off Federation trade by establishing a small but persistent imperial presence in the region. The result of these efforts was a company presence in Lumen 16, just 6 light years from Seoul for a period of 6 months. In addition, a presence was established in several other nearby systems. Lumen 16 lies 76 light years from Kappa 4 Nassus, the company's headquarters. The next step of Project Icarus was to take possession of Lumen 16, which at the time was unclaimed by factions aligned with the Pilots Federation. This was undertaken with a number of allies of the company. It was ultimately prevented by swift and decisive action taken by the Seoul Defence Coordinated. In the wake of this agreement, the company has now undertaken to uphold a number of conditions set forth in the Lumen 16 Accords. To summarise, the EIC has agreed to the following terms. They will withdraw from Lumen 16, LHS 449, Carnoek and Blatrimp. The company will respect a de facto Federation border extending 25 light years from Sol, with the exception of company presence in Leuten 205, 128, Lord 26 and Tufla. The company will maintain a line of communication with Sol Defence Coordinated in order to advise the SDC, not that one, of any company expansions that may affect the established border, and a temporary ban on the slave trade for a total of 30 days following the signature of the Accords. Project Icarus has been terminated, and the company look forward to a long and harmonious relationship with Sol Defence Coordinated in the future. Look at that! There's actual real wars going on in Elite Dangerous with real people coming to real agreements when they lose. Good stuff. Quite like that.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. Next up is a video from Elite Dangerous. I think we spoke on last week's show about how on their website they now have a kind of ship interiors mock-up that you can play with. And this was the first of a series of live streams, I think weekly live streams, that Thargosu, who's working on that, is going to do. It's interesting because he kind of sets out more why he's doing it. There was a lovely phrase he used. He said about walking a mile in Frontier's shoes. Basically, one of the reasons he started tinkering with the ship interiors thing is to see what it's like, to see what the problems are, to see, you know, why it's difficult to develop ship interiors, why it's difficult to add them to the game and make them interesting. And so he wants to walk a mile in front of his shoes and see what he can do. I think they have plans to use these in their Elite Dangerous website, where I think it will do very well and be really interesting. And he described the beginnings of a sort of mission and adventure, perhaps, if you will, where you're on a journey to Hutton and you have to do things around the ship on the way there. So yeah, I look forward to seeing that. The other thing, I'm an old cynic, so I don't want to be mean about it. Mean is the wrong word. But the other thing is to genuinely try and help Frontier do ship interiors. I remain cynical about that. I haven't seen Frontier ever take any technical help from the community whatsoever, ever. So I very much doubt that they will take anything from this project. But you never know. I'm just being an old cynic. Go for it. You never know. Frontier might go, oh, that's how you do ship interiors. Yes, please. We'll have your tech and use it.
Mm-hmm.
But using it for their website, lovely idea, and it's a good stream. I like Thargosu, and I'll tune into that every week because it's interesting to see the project develop. Next up is just a lovely music video by Commander Meat called Deep in the Black, episode 11. I've clearly got 10 previous episodes to catch up on. It's called Ringed Giants. So I featured it partly because that's exactly what we're doing in the buckyball races, visiting a bunch of ringed gas giants. And it's nice to have this beautiful cinematic to remind you what these fantastic things look like when you stop and enjoy them rather than just zoom past them at 20 times the speed of light. I've thrown the next one in. It's a video by me. It's just a kind of trailer for the buckyball race, really. If anyone wants to just watch a 2-minute video to give them an idea of what the race is like, then follow that link and watch that video. It's just a mediocre run, but I think it gives a feel for the race. But the main other thing I have in Community Corner is Ring Tossers Rally, the race itself.
Hey.
Is now on. It started on Saturday, runs till the following Sunday. I will read out the current results, I guess, and then I don't know, maybe dig into it a little bit, because I think a few of us have had a go and it's great. So currently in the Regulation Cobra, you'll remember from last week when we had Indigo on, the idea of the race is to zoom through the gap between the planet and its ring in a single system which has 8 ringed bodies. So you've got to choose an order to go visit them and then zoom through each of the rings. In Regulation Cobra, you're not allowed to use Supercruise Overcharge. And in Open Unlimited, you are. And it's a brilliant way to get familiar with the Super Cruise Overcharge. Really good fun. But anyway, so Regulation Cobra, currently in first place as of midday today-ish, I think, is Tobias von Brandt in the Sagwagon. In second place is Commander Sulu in the 888, and in third place, Epaphras in Baller. They are, let's have a look, they're doing these runs in around about 14 minutes as an average. There's a bonus, so you get a bonus for how fast you go through that gap, the fastest recorded time through the gap. I am astounded to see, because I haven't really chased this bonus yet, that in Regulation people are getting speeds of like 20 times 20C without a Super Cruise Overcharge, which is pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah.
I guess you have the stability. In Unlimited, we've got Sulu in first place in a Sidewinder with a time of 6 minutes 45, adjusted down to 5. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, no, makes sense.
Doing 17 times the speed of light to get a 1 minute bonus. In second place, Shay Blackwood in a Beluga. I love that. First place Sidewinder, second place Beluga. Nuts. Shay's taken his Beluga round in 6 minutes 32. And in third place, Epaphras in a Dolphin, who's done 6 minutes 41. It's good, isn't it? Have you done it? You've done it a bit, Psychic, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I have. I did it all day today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I will say it is not for the commander who carries a lot of tension in their lower back. I will stress this because the amount of times I swear to God I could have stood up and taken the chair with me because there was so much clenching involved. Because I don't do this. This isn't a thing that I do. I don't make a habit of going really fast close to things that might fuck me. So it's like occasionally I have ducked as I've been going through the it's really fun.
I love
It's a
that it's
proper
short.
adrenaline thing.
I mean, particularly Unlimited, even you're going under 10 minutes.
Yeah, even a quartz-brained little idiot like me can do it in less than 10 minutes.
Even an average run is
so much fun.
Which means you can have loads of goes, and if you mess it up, it doesn't really matter. You just go back and try again.
Yeah.
And it's I was describing it today. One of the things I like about it, and it's a classic thing that happens with buckyball, is initially you don't even quite understand what the race is, so you do some practice runs. Then you get the idea and you sort of start doing it. Then you kind of get better and start doing it fast. And then you start to realize ways to do it differently. Like you realize where you're losing speed. So you're losing speed maybe by overshooting or going through one ring and then realizing your next target is behind you. And so then you start kind of optimizing and changing the route. And then you get into the minutiae of like, okay, now I'm just 30 seconds off the pace and I need to change again. It's got a real nice progression to things you learn and the way you improve.
Yeah, like a couple of things that I will add that in the Unlimited, deassessing the ring was game changing for me.
Yeah,
especially Planet 8.
Yeah, Planet 8 is an absolute swine, so it's obviously the furthest out. And it's pretty dark, and you can't see the damn ring until you're pretty much on it. And then, we might as well I think the cat is out of the bag now. Somebody, thank you, Shay, pointed out in the Discord that maybe it might be worth sending out a few probes. And cue much face palming and light bulb moments. And yeah, if you probe the planet and the rings, then they light up blue and make them a lot easier to see.
Yeah, you probe the planets before you make your run. You go back and do
No, you do it just in the middle, Colin. You just do it during the run and it'll be fine.
It's quite tedious. I mean, I went out once I'd realized that I just spent maybe half an hour
Yeah.
probing every single planet and its rings, because they're big planets, so they need like 22 probes per planet. Because the rings are in the way, quite often you have to send 10 probes from one side and then fly around the other side and send 10 more probes. So it's quite elaborate. And then I don't know if this was necessary or not, but I'm always very wary of doing kind of discovery stuff and then losing it the first time I blow up, which you do a lot of in a buckyball race. So then I had to take all that data and go and sell it somewhere to make sure it was kind of cached, if you
No, I
like.
just threw caution to the wind.
Did you? Because
Yeah.
I've got so many systems where I've like honked and then done a buckyball race and blown up and ended up with only 3 of the 10 planets showing up in my system map when I revisit,
Yeah.
because I've got half-assed exploration data for it. So
The other thing that I found like utterly entirely game changing, probably more so than scanning the rings, was putting the mouse widget on. I couldn't believe how much that changed.
Yeah, I wonder if listeners don't know about the mouse widget. There must be at least one, surely. There's a thing somewhere in settings, in your settings.
Ship controls. It's in ship controls. I know exactly where it is. Yeah.
It's called mouse widget, and its original intention is that if you're using the mouse, it shows your input, so you can sort of tell where your mouse input is. But it also adds a little dot smack bang in the middle of your screen, which is incredibly useful if you're trying to point the nose of your ship through the middle of a ring gap.
Thread the needle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that, or put a piece of blue tack in the center. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not much
It's
use
the
to your
next
headlock,
one.
unfortunately. But
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss.
But yeah, a lot of fun. Highly recommended. Is that I've drifted off into buckyball. That so there's 2 other things I wanted to say. Community corner. Yes. So talking of this DSS, the Regulation Cobra, which is the same Cobra we've been using for 3 championships now, did not have a DSS in its standard build. I think one race from the last system required the DSS, so we allowed it to be fitted for that race. But I think the general feeling was that it would be taken off again after that race. So there was some discussion as to whether the detailed surface scanner, should be allowed in this race in order to illuminate the rings and planet. And it's been decided this afternoon that it is not allowed. We are sticking with the Regulation Cobra. So you're going to have to look very closely when you approach body 8 for those rings that are dark grey on a black background.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm so glad.
Good. And the last item on community news is ETM tickets are still available. Yay!
Yep. Woohoo! There's not a lot of hotel rooms available. I've been speaking to Dave today about some other stuff, but he just wanted to like remind ECM tickets there are still a fair amount, a decent amount of ECM tickets still remaining and available. So if you are looking to get an ECM ticket, buy an ECM ticket. There are not that many hotel rooms left. So if you're wanting a hotel room, it might be worth,
I assume that's the venue itself. Other hotels.
The venue, the other hotels are available. So after that, it's going to be Travel Lodge or shit like that.
Okay.
Cool.
And here endeth community news. Colin?
Did we send Colin to sleep? Oh, Colin's not here. Okay, cool. So, yeah, community news is if you've got a community event taking place soon and you would like for us to shout about it across the airways, please tweet the crew. Tweet the crew at Lave Radio or email info@laveradio.com. We can move to the in-game events. Colin, are you here? Okay, cool. We will move to the in-game events then. What's happened this week? We had a Galnet about the destruction of Hadad. Did anybody get up for it?
Yes, so I want to talk about this briefly, and maybe
this
will give. So yes, for those that don't know, the timing of this one was it got destroyed, or rather it went into its sort of 24-hour heat death at 3:38 in the morning UK time, which is great. I love that it can happen at different times. It means that the people in on the other side of the world get a chance to do it in normal hours. So that's brilliant. I'm so glad Frontier didn't interfere with that. I was slightly worried they might tweak it, but no, it's great. So it's definitely 24 hours after its last core goes down. So yes, it was 3:38 a.m. Now I'm an early riser. I get up at 5 in the morning to play Elite. 3:38. That's early. So I am denied about it. And the reason I wanted to see this one, I've already seen two, but it had a moon nearby that you could land on, and it seemed like you might be able to witness it from the surface of that moon, which I thought would make a wonderful screenshot and/or video, and a really unusual perspective. So I decided not to set an alarm, but I would just let my mental alarm decide whether it was going to wake me up in the morning or not. Turns out my mental alarm was very keen, and it woke me up at 12:30. It woke me up at 2, and it finally woke me up at 3 in the morning. So I got up and came down and played Elite, and got myself a beautifully framed camera suite, all set up with exactly where the Titan was. And 3:38 came and went, and I saw with my finger poised on the screenshot button. 3:38 came and went, and I saw absolutely nothing. And I gave it 10 minutes, and then I came out of the camera suite to find everyone in local chat discussing how wonderful the explosion was. So I got up at 3:03 in the morning for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
I'm so confused. So what went wrong?
I was too far away.
Oh,
because I was on the planet's surface. You couldn't see it from there. It was a hunch.
Oh shit!
It was speculation. I thought,
Okay.
this will be cool if I can see it from here. Turns out couldn't see it from the planet's surface.
Right. Okay.
Was it just distance, or was it the fact you were on a planet?
Well, the thing is, what was the first one? Tyrannus. When
Yeah.
Tyrannus went in the screenshots forum thread, there was a screenshot of the explosion in the sky from a planet. And it was wonderful. It wasn't huge, but it was, way in the distance. And I always thought, it just stuck in my mind. I thought, I'll go and do that. And what I wonder is whether it was faked.
Oh,
I'm just wondering whether it was faked.
always possible, I guess.
So there's two possibilities. It was too far away, or you can't actually see it from the planet's surface. If anyone knows in chat for sure whether it's possible to see a Titan explosion from a planet's surface, it would save me getting up at stupid hours in the morning 4 more times to try and get a screenshot that it's not possible to get.
We've seen them all now. I don't know if the next one's going to go as quick. I think there was a mentality of like, let's just get Haddad down as quickly as possible. Let it completely go. I did not get. I was probably still up. I could have probably tuned into somebody's stream. I was probably still awake, just like doom scrolling as I am want to do. So I could probably have logged in and seen if someone was doing it, but I don't know. I don't know if I could willingly get up and play Elite Dangerous at 3:30 in the morning. But yeah, we had a small Galnet article about Haddad going down, and that was a thing. That was a Galnet article that happened. We also just as an update on the Thargoid War, from the DCOH website, I think this is relatively recently, we've got 36 alerts, of which 6 have been repelled. 15 invasions, of which 5 have been repelled. There are 605 controlled systems, of which 12 have been purged. There are 4 Titans left, 13 systems in recovery, and despite Haddad going boom, expect more alerts and invasions this week. I don't know what that means, but not in Haddad's area for sure.
I'm guessing that means stuff's been changed. Who knows what the hell is going to affect?
Yeah, we're going to find out. We're going to find out what happens on the back of the changes that were made today. I was going to say yesterday. Then this has been a very long day. It's been a very long. We're still May.
It's only Tuesday. I was going to say it's been a long week.
I mean that too. We have really surprisingly, we have no store alert. Which is an odd thing given the fact that we've just had a ship come out. Again, maybe there's gonna be more things coming out when it actually is more readily available. So what I think we'll do is we will have some adverts and then come back with our main discussion.
Get ready. LAVE Radio.
Attention. Second technician Chris Forrester to the station gantry. The vending machine has broken. Repeat, second technician Forrester to the gantry. The vending machine has broken. Attention. Medical officer to the gantry.
We've been lucky for a long time. Earth's green again. Mars ain't red anymore. And your biggest worry has been carrier upkeep. But what happens if that changes? How are you going to keep your piece of the galaxy safe when the unknown comes at you fast? Manticore. We'll give you the power to fight back, no matter what comes your way, because family's important. And you? Well, you're family now. Manticore, come join the family.
There's bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave business directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry for Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff, and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our crime scene cleanup service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Ares Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Ares Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
07 Commanders, and welcome in. I'm Commander Psyche, and with me, as always, is Oh no, wait, this is Lave Radio.
Colin's opinion goes out first.
And welcome back. Good old Virgin Media there, kicking me into touch. I'm glad everyone was able to not fumble the ball. Right.
We totally fumbled the ball, Colin. It was amazing. We did such a good job of fully fumbling the ball. You'd have loved it.
Fair enough. Well, I wasn't here to hear it. That's the thing. You know,
It's all right, you'll hear it back.
Bloody Virgin Media. If you were listening, Virgin Media, you're not doing well. Right. The main discussion and the question of the week, we have a milestone passed us by, and we didn't even notice it. But apparently Odyssey is now 3 years old. So the main thing that we were wondering was, with the benefit of hindsight, do you think that Odyssey has had the legs it needed? Or...
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that pun. That was entirely on me. That wasn't Colin. I'm going to shoulder the responsibility for that terrible pun. Anyway, move on. My apologies.
Fantastic. Where were we? Oh, yes. Do you think that Odyssey has had the legs it needed? Or are there still holes in Odyssey that you would like to see filled? So, yeah, that's where we're going to start. Now, it's 3 years, Ben. What's your impression of Odyssey now?
Now, I think what we've got is good. There is a lot of fun to be had. What it's evolved into is good. And I really, there's a lot of fun and I enjoy playing it. And yeah, my mic wasn't on mute. Have we lost Colin?
Right. A lot of fun, and you enjoyed playing it. So, do you think that there's any we've lost Colin again? It's fine. Do you think there's any holes in Odyssey that you'd like to see filled? Is there anything that you think it's missing?
There's a lot of the gripes that I had originally are still there. I've given up on them becoming a bugbear. It's like, okay, fine. We have litter on the ground and the energy stations. Deal with it. I can, and things like that. It's like, okay, that is what it is. Accept it. Move on. I am not a fan of the new interface and the try to move your mouse around, and it feels like with the Q interface on getting things right, I can do with that one, and that's okay because that's using, you press Q and then WASD, and you can move around like that. But the wave your hand thing, it feels like I'm having to fight with the interface, trying to do my emotes. The emote one.
Right.
I'm really confused.
You mean like the emote wheel? Is that what you're on about?
The emote thing. You press and hold B, a wheel comes up, and then feels like I'm fighting with that wheel, trying to actually get to what I want.
Do you use the mouse with that, Ben, or are you trying to do
what else would you use?
I don't know. I don't use it.
I have keyboard shortcuts for every emote, so I
Yeah,
don't
I
use
use my
it.
numpad for
Well,
it.
I mean, I've got B and numberpad 7, for example, for salute, but I don't
Right.
have every single one bound.
Yeah, no, I have every single one because I'm a disaster. So I like
I think
emoting
anything
funny.
there means there's a kind of press
Yeah,
and hold and move.
there
try
is
and
a
move
wheel
to
of some
Yeah.
kind.
corner.
There's a
and-
wheel. It just doesn't. That does not work for me. Maybe it works for other people, and it's just me. That's a very distinct possibility. I would have liked to. I don't like the distinction between the ground and space missions. I want more. I want it to feel like one game, and it does not feel like that to me.
Oh.
I think the stuff we've had at the Spire is a great first step. More like that, please. But also, why do I need to get ground missions only from stations, and why can I only get space missions from my ship? Why can't I just get missions? I don't like that distinction. Why I don't see why I can't sit in my spaceship and then say I want to run around on foot and massacre a bunch of people. And it still feels too separated, and I would like that not to be.
Yeah, I certainly know about the separation thing. I mean, I've been playing a lot of missions at the moment where you do have that extra space element in there, and those missions work really, really well.
I know. I'm more like this, please. Yeah, I want space elements in every ground mission, and frankly, I want ground bits in every space mission.
I would think that actually I would want space things in missions over a certain difficulty. Because I still think you need sort of just purely ground missions for when you're starting out.
Yeah, that's something I would like more of. Please give us more use of the frontier. Not the taxi, the frontier solution stuff. I love that. That is so good. Just jump on a ladder and kill people.
You mean war? You want more wars in the galaxy?
I want more war. But give me.
There's lots of wars. You go to type it, look for war, and then you'll be able to go there. There's.
Yeah, I think there's more like that. I would love, sort of, as I said when we were sort of thinking about what kind of things we'd like for the Thargoids. Give me something that would let me go and not Thargoids for the Power Play 2.0 stuff. Let me go and do Power Play 2.0 and run around and kill a bunch of the People's Princess people in a base somewhere.
Well, at the moment they haven't
said yes or no, but that would be
0.2,
yeah.
so
I know that might still be there, but it's a brilliant thing, and more like that, please. Again.
Fair enough. Okay, shall we move on to Claire?
Cool. I don't live in one system, so I'm aware that there are plenty of wars in other parts of the bubble. So I don't miss wars. I've done a lot of wars. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend just changing the galaxy map filters, and then you'll be able to find one. Ben, it'll be a good thing.
I know I can. I just want more. I want more use of it. You know what I mean.
I mean, just probably one next door to Lave right now, but it's since. No one is going to deny that Odyssey had a real rocky patch.
Yeah, but
real rocky start.
The question is that was 3 years ago. And
yeah, it was 3 years ago, and I am very much reminded of how rocky the start was. Did it stop me from playing entirely? Did it fuck? I love this game. You guys know I love this game. I am one of the staunchest defenders of this game. I will criticize where criticism is due. I'm not blinkered, but it's a good I really, really love this game. Would I like to see more of what we had in the Spires, where the sphere of combat can be actualized? So stuff on the ground on an SRE, stuff jumping around, stuff with flight, all happening within the same instance. And that to me is way more important than a fucking pipe dream of ship interiors. I know people want ship interiors, great, good for them. But for me, it's seeing more of all these options coming together, and all these different elements that already exist in the game existing within the same space. And I don't mean like a on foot mission that then turns into somebody's chasing you and trying to interdict you in space. That still has an element of disconnect. And like some kind of mission where you have to first go. Just the fucking Spire shit is so good and also so temporary that I don't think it's fair. You know what I mean? It's not fair for them to have put something in this game that has a finite period of time and is exactly what I wanted from Elite, and then make me be like, from Odyssey specifically, and not make me feel wistful when it is slowly ebbing away from our grip. But that's what I want more of. I want to be jumping around on a station and see ships fighting outside and those kind of things.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. Fair enough. How about you, Alec?
Yeah, interesting. It's an interesting question. I think Odyssey is excellent now. I wouldn't and couldn't really imagine Elite without it. And given the price it is, if anyone hasn't got it, I mean, just get it. It just adds to the game. It's great.
Yeah.
But there is a deeper thing, and I'm going to say a thing, and I can't defend it. So when people question me, I'm not going to be able to defend this. But there's a sort of feeling I had from Odyssey. I can't really explain it, but it's like I felt like Elite and its focus sort of changed quite fundamentally with Odyssey. I sort of had in my mind an image of what Elite was, an image that was sort of formed in 1984, I suppose, by using my imagination a lot. Elite really felt first and foremost like a sort of game of imagination and immersion. And when Odyssey dropped and the on-foot gameplay arrived, it felt like it turned into an actual video game with, shooting stuff and running around and doing objectives, and I felt like that sort of deeper sense of Elite being an exploration and immersion kind of imagination game tilted slightly, and the focus of what Frontier were doing with Elite kind of changed more to, I don't know, prescriptive gameplay, or there's something that happened with Odyssey. I've let go of it now. I love Odyssey and I love where it is. There's things I didn't like a lot. The planet tech, I seriously didn't like. The UI, a bit like Ben, I seriously didn't like. I think the deal is with that it's been so long. I've sort of forced myself to pretty much not go back. I have been back a couple of times to Legacy, but that I've forgotten the difference. I would say, as a little sting in that tail, I would say that I've forgotten that Odyssey is worse. But on the odd times I have gone back, I do prefer the Legacy Planet Tech. I do prefer the Legacy UI, but luckily it's been long enough that I've kind of forgotten. And the only other thing I think, but hopefully we're going to see a change in this soon, is that ground engineering is an absolute nightmare. I mean, it's ludicrous, the grind for ground engineering. When Odyssey first dropped, I decided I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole because it just seemed, that the obstacles were just ludicrous. And I kind of assumed it would change, and it hasn't really. So I literally haven't done a single shred of on-foot engineering yet. Yeah, so it's great. Odyssey's great. But I think it changed Elite, but it's different. But it's good. It's great.
Okay.
Colin?
Is not here.
It's like every time I talk, Colin disappears.
it's like we know. Yeah, I think that's a absolutely beautiful point. That's a really beautiful, stunning point. I think, yeah. So we also asked this question as part of our question of the week, because we thought it would be interesting to see what you guys thought as well.
Shall I take it away?
Yeah. Firstly though, hi Chris. Please say hello. Please don't be broken as well, Chris.
Hello.
Hello, love. I'm going to ask you. How
Chris will
It's
be
very Tuesday today. It's very Tuesday. I'm going to say it's very Tuesday. It's very Tuesday.
It's a very Tuesday kind of day.
Yeah, it's so Tuesday.
So Tuesday. Same question. What's
Same
your
question.
Odyssey opinion? Yeah. You
Odyssey
were here.
opinion.
You were listening.
I was here. I was listening. I was lurking in the background. So my Odyssey opinion, I'm like the rest of you. I was a bit disappointed by the way the launch went and what the state of it was, but I've kind of come to love some of the sort of on-foot stuff. You'll see a lot of weeks if you watch the program on Twitch that I like to run about and do some of the on-foot missions and bits and pieces like that, and I've come to like some of them. I am not a big fan of the engineering. Like you say, Alec, I think there's definitely ways that could be tweaked slightly to make it a little bit more fun, possibly a bit easier. You know, I complain about engineering a lot on the show, so I won't.
It's like, with ship engineering, just to jump back in on that, but with ship engineering, I don't obsess. I don't go out and deliberately kind of fill up mats very often. I have recently with the SEO stuff, but generally I find when I fancy doing some engineering, it turns out I've got some mats to do some. Whereas literally, about once every 6 months, I think, surely I must have enough on-foot stuff now to actually do something. Nope.
There's so much that you can pick up on foot that means absolutely nothing. Yeah. It does not get used in any schematic whatsoever. It is rubbish that is lying on the ground. You pick it up and go, well, surely this is useful for something. Does anyone want to trade it? No. Does anyone want to buy it? No. Can I use it in anything? No. Okay, I've just picked it all up. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're looking for a bit of realism in our yawn space game, and there would be space trash lying around all over the place. But
I didn't sign
you
up
don't
for
want
realism.
it. I didn't sign up for this nonsense. But yeah, I mean, there's bits and pieces that lie about all over the place, and you kind of wish that some items that you need for literally everything, I'm looking at you, forms of manufacturing instructions and schematics, were slightly more frequent. I mean, I'm not asking for them to be littering the floor, but if they were littering the floor, I would be very happy. So yeah, there's bits like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets you to try some of the different mission types and stuff. So I've had quite a good experience at Odyssey once they sorted out some wrinkles. Let's say wrinkles. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
It would be lovely if they marked the stuff that at least was vendor trash.
Yeah, there's a third party app that will basically do that for you.
Yeah. Odyssey
exactly.
Materials Helper.
Yeah.
But the argument is you shouldn't have to.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
That argument does exist, and that is a thing. Anyway, we asked you the same question. We asked that question of you, and we had a very familiar person answer. Alec. Alec has already answered, but Alec, if you want to share it.
Yeah, Tom Cool. Cool, formerly of Frontier Developments, gave an answer to this, which is beautiful. He said, speaking purely as a fan, I'd love to see more content where you seamlessly required to transition through the various modes of transport, e.g., assaulting a megaship in your ship, then landing on an exposed platform, then on foot to seize control of a vehicle hangar, then drive through the megaship's interior to reach a control deck and disable the shielding, then back to ships for the killing blow. Basically what we did with the Spires, but more and better. Hop to it, Curtis Griff. Curtis? Curtis responded with, I'll just go and find the more and better button and press it a couple of times, shall I?
I mean, that's fair. Like, to be honest, guys, if that button exists, why the fuck are you not pressing it already?
More and better. Hammer that more and better button.
Yeah, do we get to press it once each? I mean, how does the button work? Is that the case? In which, so can we form a line?
That's really nice, though, to hear
As long
Tom
as we can do
say
the
that-
conga.
to hear Tom say that the Spire sites are mwah, and that's what we should be having more of. Is
Yeah.
I think we all feel that too.
We all definitely feel that, for sure.
Yeah, so Commander Sigman, if you want to move on from
It's
Tom.
Simon. Sorry, I spelled it wrong. It's my apologies.
Commander Simon is saying, I've been happy with Odyssey since day one of the alpha, and even before that. The teaser video where they walked around the station concourse, it had a whole new layer to a game I already loved. Also, many new ways to work the BGS.
Fair enough. Simon was the person who gave me the advice on how to make Odyssey run better for my PC. So
Okay.
I fully trust him that he enjoyed Odyssey from the off because he had everything set up to correctly potentially to enjoy it. But I know Simon is in love with Odyssey, so that's an understandable response from him. Gaz Ubermick has said, honestly, it feels like Frontier missed a trick with Odyssey. There's been so little introduced that's specific to it, just the Spire sites, really. I'd have loved to see them focus a bit more on it, on-foot Thargoid combat, expanding Exobiome more, and hope beyond hope, some EVA.
Yeah, EVA would open up a lot of possibilities.
I'd love to see EVA. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, I've seen little bits of it elsewhere in other sort of games that you think, oh, that would be really cool if we could deploy that sort of ship salvage and stuff like that. Oh, yes.
Or installations. Imagine going to some of those installations and just being able to sort of park your ship and drift across to the out, pulling onto the out, mag boot yourself onto the outside of the installation and
The things with
over.
the tunnels as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very neat. Yeah, I'm picturing that now. LCU, no full like one. More legs, more interiors and EVA. I'd like to engineer my organic scanner for multiple samples. Of course, I would like the Thargoids with legs and maybe some new Guardian content. And why do we still have permit locked regions?
He probably wants more cheese as well.
And more cheese. I mean, that's always implied. It's LCU.
Obviously.
Silas Resi says, I think expectations are too high. In this community, expectations too high.
People wanting stuff that can't
Outrageous
happen.
claim.
How dare you?
It is literally a game-changing mechanic that the true fans enjoyed and were happy to give FDev time to improve. However, the combat could be tweaked with more combined arms, integrating vehicles and ships for more intense experience.
Yeah.
Commander Strayer is saying, I've been enjoying the heck out of it. It added new depths of immersion to the galaxy. Walking into the hab building of a remote moon settlement and hearing a pot of coffee brewing, for example. I would like more equipment, mission types, and ties. Oh, ties to the wider BGS galaxy.
Yeah.
I thought they meant like ties as in, around your neck.
I mean, my commander would look dapper with a bow tie.
Store alert.
I mean,
Right.
I've always wanted, they're missing a trick by not having bow ties in this game.
Bow ties
Bow
are cool.
ties and feathers are,
Bow ties
both
are-
of those things are incredibly cool.
Agreed.
I love how we went to the
Patches.
exact same place.
No, we need eye patches.
Hi, Colin.
Hi, Colin.
Colin, how do you feel about Odyssey? not that I feel like I have to ask you now, just in case.
Oh, bloody hell! At the moment, I feel I feel great about Odyssey at the moment. I don't feel it deserves the huge amount of hate it still seems to have. Because that's one of the things that again I know there are issues with it, with some of the planetary tech that people weren't happy with, and the fact that there still is a bug on the system map which drives me up the blasted wall. But I've got used to the UI now. I'm now faster using the new UI than the old one, and yeah, it's scratched an itch. I'll agree with everybody else. There does need to be more stuff in there that make the space game and the on-foot game feel more integrated. And yeah, the holes that I would like to see Odyssey filled, it's actually quite simple, but I know it's a big ask, and that's on-foot VR. I think because I've just got into playing in VR so much lately, it is so jarring when you get out of the SRV or the ship on foot, and yeah, it just doesn't. I know it was a bodge. I know they never wanted to put VR in the Odyssey update, but yeah, it's not the best as far as that's concerned. I know how much work it is to put it in, but I still feel it would be worth it.
Fair enough.
Interesting.
Totally
Fair
agree
enough.
with you, worth it.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Completely fair. Mr. Skiz has agreed with Commander Strayer. They say that there's flavors of immersive sims when you get to hack into / restore an outpost, though they'd love more legal and or non-lethal activities, and more usage of the core systems we barely scratch the surface of, e.g. labs, prison cells, etc., that could be used in new activities. So yeah. There's that. That's a very, very, also a very good point.
Commander Bowl of Petunias. Wow, it's only 3 years ago. Feels like yesterday, or feels more like 5, with tons of tons of Bowie echoing through the trailer. My wallet was ready to pre-order. Armstrong moment set the bar high, which is subjectively yet to fully deliver. EVA would be a good addition. 07.
Yeah, that thing about the Armstrong moment. That to me, I think that was one of the big disappointments. I don't get me wrong, I love the exploration side of Odyssey. It was the saving part for when the performance was really bad, because I just gave up trying to do the missions. I just went out in space. The downside was it never caught that Armstrong moment, because it felt like you had to leave the ship, walk down the ramp, or come off the final hatch and jump down. And as Ben says, press F to board. I think that robbed Elite of the Armstrong moment.
Even just an animation wherein they saw your commander walking down a ramp, or your commander walked down a ramp and then ended up on the spot, rather than just fade to black, fade out. You know what I mean? Not the animation thing, not like a ship interior moment, but because ship interiors are a novelty that would be used like 6 times, and then there's an alternative, and that is quicker, so people would use that. But I would have loved to have seen like a step, like an animation of you dropping.
Do you know? I don't even know how much I would have cared if they'd never used the phrase Armstrong moment.
Yeah.
And then we'd got the blue teleportation. I don't know that I barely have noticed. It was like a masterclass in a marketing fail. Is to know, they must have known at that time that what the game was going to do was have a blue circle that you materialize in. So to then use that phrase Armstrong moment is like one of the biggest face palms in marketing history, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, no.
Well, in Elite marketing history.
Oh dear. Yeah.
I'd have been happy with. You know how like when you've got the SLF,
Yeah.
you fade to black, you wake up in your SLF component in your SLF, and then you get the the Viper Mark III's sort of zooming out from Battlestar.
Yes.
Give us that, and then show me stepping off, and then have me in first person stepping off my ship.
Some reason, I suppose, because of the speed, Ben. But when you mentioned that, and I was thinking about the SLF launch sequence, I was imagining a fade to black, and then it cuts to a sequence where you're falling down the stairs.
We could trip down the stairs too. That works.
And then you land on your face on the planet's surface.
In a really high gravity planet, and you totally misjudge it, and you just stumble on the first step.
Oh, I'd love that.
Reminds me of Bing Bong.
I've got Commander Cronenberg, who says, landing on Earth-like worlds with strange alien animals and weather conditions because I'd love to fly through a rainstorm. Me too.
Atmospherics. Yes.
I will say in the other space game, flying around on Microtech or walking around there in the dark with the wind and the rain, especially because the wind makes it harder to walk as well.
Yeah.
Is terrifying, awesome. Yeah, and is very, very immersion.
That's interesting because there are things we imagine we will love, and then when you actually get them, they're like, oh, I don't really.
Yeah, actually doing it is a complete ball ache. You're trying to walk the length of your ship, and it's like, real life trying to walk into 100-mile-an-hour wind. It's hard.
It's like I don't know why they are beautiful, but blue skies wore off quicker than I imagined.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I got very, very sick of storms in No Man's Sky.
Fuck storms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, all that weather.
Storms are the scythes of No Man's Sky.
Yeah, because I mean, I do like No Man's Sky when it's got the kind of planetary exploration that I do like, and walking around there, and all of a sudden you get hit by a storm, and you're sort of there thinking, "Oh God, no!" And then I know where they're coming from, but sometimes it's not as great as you think it is in real. Well, in real life, I was about to say, geez, in reality, or virtual reality, rather.
Who's
Ben?
next?
It's on you, mate.
Oh, sorry. We're on Bopper. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Bopper. It needed ship interiors to integrate the new gameplay with the traditional ship-based gameplay.
That is your opinion, Bopper, and you
we
are
were just kind of talking about
that. We were. It's funny. It's funny that I've got another message from Mr. Skiz, who said to me, Odyssey, I wonder, no, it's a completely different message. To me, Odyssey clearly was designed with a systemic approach, almost like an immersive sim. Many in the toolset that are barely used, or of many ways to get combined together, that could have created an awful lot of more archetypes. I guess if it was more successful, we'd have it.
Yeah, so different ways of combining it. I think we've definitely got some stuff on a theme here between bits and pieces and everything. Trying to join. Speaking of themes, Mr. Indigo, Commander Mr. Indigo, to his friends. EVA. I think he wants ship interior.
He wants ship interior.
Rocky Star says, Odyssey is all legs, but it wasn't just the legs that Odyssey bought, it was also the massive overhaul to the galaxy map that allowed the facilitation of the Thargoid War and likely Power Play 2.
Actually, that is a good point that a lot of people do gloss over, is the fact that it was not well established, but when we talked to Darren and at last year's ECM, we suddenly realized how difficult it was to put things in on planetary surfaces in the old legacy code. And one of the advantages that Odyssey has done is that I have a feeling it's not easy because, game dev, but it's a heck of a lot easier to put new features and new content in the new planetary model.
Interesting. Do you mean things like, for example, the Spire sites? That would have been much harder to add that kind of thing to.
I think so.
Interesting.
Because we were talking.
It would have been impossible, I suspect.
Ironically, we were talking about racetracks.
Yeah.
I missed that discussion, sadly.
Poor Darren was saying that it, just to put the, on the old system, just to put the crashed anacondas in at Beagle Point.
Yeah.
Took a week because the software kept on crashing. It was difficult, and they were about to give up on it when they managed to get a build with it which actually worked and stayed.
Mm.
And yeah, that was a week just to put one small planetary thing in.
That's really interesting.
But as you can see, as you've seen from other things, with Odyssey, there's a lot more stuff gone in, especially the Spire sites and the points of interest. So yeah.
So,
go on. Sorry, Ben.
So Chebsville's saying the problem with Odyssey was when it was released, it had bad major playability issues, which were mainly down to optimizing the game for real-world PCs. Once that was done, it was fine, but poop sticks. Anyone remember Crisis when Crisis came out and the memes about supercomputers, but does it run Crisis?
Mm-hmm.
As for I remember things about Crisis back in the day.
I still remember it now. I mean, it's just a archetypal meme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does it run Crisis?
As for what I like now, foot battles around Docking Bay 94, yes. Battles of megaships, yes. Stations or characters, also yes, would be so cool. I settled for the ability to carry a sidearm in an anarchy system and be used if somebody Q jumps at the bar.
I love the idea.
That. Yeah. Yeah, I would love that as well.
Anakin systems, you can buy beer at the bar.
Yes.
Yeah, I would appreciate being able to buy beer as well, yes.
Somebody pisses you off and you just pop them in the head and no one bats an eye because you're in an anarchy system.
Yeah,
as long as you shoot first.
Yeah, sorry about the mess emote.
That's amazing. Sorry about the mess, and then you toss a coin to the bartender.
Yeah, but that's not fair because our space game where we kill thousands of people and shoot at made up aliens, it needs to be steeped in realism. You've got to remember that. Oh,
damn right it
also
does.
Panther Clipper for no reason other than there's probably a bingo card that needs to be filled in at some point. Little Big Yin. Big fan, Little Big Yin. I think you are one of my favorite humans. You probably one of my favorite Chris's. Even I would say that Odyssey has not had the legs it needed.
One of.
I've got quite a few favorite Chris's. I would say that
Chris
Odyssey.
Collective.
Yeah, it's Chris Collective. I am the biggest fan of the Chris Collective. I would say that Odyssey had not had the legs it needed. The whole premise for Odyssey was we got space legs and would enable the new steps in Elite Dangerous. However, not much of the new content has really necessitated the need for space legs. It was Horizons with some basic FUT missions tackled on, which in the great scheme of things didn't have much benefit. The stations are cookie cutter interiors with no distinction between the powers. Even my favourite stations, asteroid stations, were introduced pre-Odyssey. We had to wait until the Spire sites until we got something that linked ship, FUT and SRVs together. They did introduce CZs above ground CZs, but the performance when they did was so awful, and again, no better than just using space CGs. There was no carrot to do this other than it looks fun. Also, they didn't have Thargons. The current big narrative arc with beating up Titans is purely space-based, so could be possible in Horizons with the updated engine. One positive for Odyssey is the new settlements. The tourist ones looking amazing, but sadly are empty of content to make it alive. I'm pretty sure you can't even speak to the barman at these places. I wonder if the downturn in Frontier's fortunes may have put a lot of changes on the back burner or been abandoned completely. As for holes in Odyssey, it would be great to see an extension of the existing chain missions, sightseeing missions where you take a person to POI A, then on to a POI on the surface where you have to drive them to it in an SRV. Oh, that's a fucking great idea, Chris. I love that. I would like to see some fighting inside megaships or stronghold carriers. It feels like the control point set up for on-foot CZs could be used for this, where CPs are replaced with capture points are replaced with areas of the large ships. I'd also like to see more environmental improvements at Odyssey settlements so people feel less robotic. You don't have a lot that you want, is it, love?
It's good stuff.
It's a good list, though. It's a good list.
He ain't wrong.
It's a good list. And the thing about it, like if you answer the question of the week in our Discord, you have so many more characters to play with, and you can stretch your you can stretch whatever you want and explain your narrative a little bit. You did the words with the talking, and it was good. I really like all of those answers, Chris. Well done.
I like the idea of the capture points inside the new mega ships for power play. I think that's quite a cool mechanic. If you had that, that'd be very neat.
Running from the engine room to the bridge to the medical bay to try and hold on to these areas.
Yeah, and it feels like, because people aren't controlling them, it's gonna feel like that might be doable. You know what I mean? It might possibly be doable if there is like what
Are you suggesting
Tom
it might not be hard to do? You know,
No, I didn't say that. But like, because I'm suggesting they press the more better key and make it happen.
Yes.
But like what Tom was saying, that because we know and we've heard from the power play thing that you can't land at the megaship unless you're affiliated with that particular faction or that particular power play unit. So if you're not affiliated with that particular power play unit, then maybe you have to attack and then you can land, because it releases some of the attacking or the thing that the permits. You're attacking to remove that permit lock on you not being able to land, and then you can land and then you can attack. You know, cool stuff.
We've already got hacking mechanics though as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, including some state, actually.
It's all there. How hard can it be?
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. There's the word that we were looking for. Bingo card is filling up
We're
nicely.
done. I did it. I did the whole thing.
We've got Nicey Guy. I think I'm going to go for the username there. As someone that came to Elite after Odyssey was released, I found the bad rep Elite has to be generally wrong, except from the learning curve. My word, that was something. I'm fairly sure Odyssey's release was a big part of this. From what I've found, it seems to be pretty good apart from the FPS, but I'm on a laptop after all. Personally, I would love it if fleet carriers and station interiors had a bit more to them. Think settlement but low G and way safer. No shutting down a station's power. Would that set my laptop on fire? Yes. Would it look amazing whilst it's doing that? Also yes.
You've not finished.
I do. Am I not finished? Also yes.
No,
also yes. I didn't finish. You're
No,
right.
you didn't.
I also have to agree with Chris about the whole NPCs look. Well, NPC-ish. There's no life. I suppose it has to be 16 rated somehow.
Unfortunately, the people on the planetary surfaces, they don't move their mouths at all.
I mean, some of them manage to have conversations without any words coming out whatsoever on the station concourse in particular, and lots of them fall asleep next to each other and they don't seem embarrassed about it, nor do they ever wake up. But yes.
No matter what you do around them.
I mean, it kind of ties into what Little Bigian said as well, which is like a bit more variety in the concourses even. You know, the concourses, you get maybe some more pot plants and slightly different coloured carpet, and that's about the variation.
Yeah, the layout's exactly the same, really, isn't it? For every Coriolis or big station, the layout's the same. For every outpost, the layout's the same. I mean, I know that it's we're talking limitations here, but
I don't know. You would think there would be a way to kind of make it modular, such that they could at least swap the outfitting with the bio research thing. You know, they're on opposite sides of the bar. You could just have one where the bio place was on the left and the outfit was on the right. Or so, I don't know.
Well, it's meant to be proc-gen.
Yeah,
but maybe they'll do that in one update, and it will just really confuse us, though, where suddenly you run into the station and you're going to run all your way up to Vista Genomics, and suddenly they've just moved it.
I mean, the settlement's good, aren't they?
And then the salt will start all over again. They moved my favourite place to somewhere else.
Been running around for an hour now, and I can't find the bar. Happy Moon Monkey says, I was only a couple of months into the game when Odyssey came along, so for me it was a great addition and has all been fun. But some of my wish list, starports, starbases and outpost interiors could be expanded more to create maps, which in conflict times sometimes become intense interior fighting zones. In peacetime, these simply provide more things to see and also interact with. Outpost bar windows should all be aligned with the planet and or star they orbit. Yes, everyone should have a nice view.
Yeah, 100%. That's what we need.
I like that. Takes too long to run from the ship to the lift, so teleport straight there, or a closer lift.
There we go.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's
completely the opposite.
Happy Moon Monkey definitely wants chip interiors. You can tell. You can tell from this. This is definitely what they want.
No Armstrong moment for me. I want to teleport to the bar.
Yeah.
I don't want to teleport. I want one of those moving walkways like you get at airports. That's what I want.
Nobody wants those.
I mean, that's essentially what Starfield was. You know, it's just teleport here, teleport there, teleport to this POI on the next planet. And I mean, it was efficient. It was definitely efficient.
I mean, I'm sure it was great. I hear it gets better after 12 hours, but I'm still yet to go back, so I can't confirm or deny that.
It does have one of my favorite voice actors. I love Elias Teff. I can't pronounce his last name. But yeah, I love him, mostly because of the work he did in The Expanse and Star Trek Discovery, but he's also one of the main characters in Starfield.
Fair enough.
One final thing, Alec.
I think I did say and VR on foot. Is that
you must have been drowned out then.
Once more for Colin. And VR on foot, please.
Yay. Thank God.
Right. Stephen Usher is saying the biggest letdown has, I assume, the biggest letdown has been the placeholder exploration mechanics. Nothing has happened with these in 3 years. Adding geological entities in addition to biological to make visiting moons with geological activity worth it. Changing the distance between scans to different growth sizes of biological, which makes more scientific sense, would make it more usable, especially if there seems to be one location on a moon with a particular type. So it's impossible to scan more than one to the cluster, due to the cluster being smaller than the sample distances. Understandably, from a marketing point of view, exploration has been ignored so as to concentrate more on the pew-pew side.
Yeah, I must admit, for me, the highlight of Odyssey when it was first released was exploration. Finding the new plants and even though it did seem rudimentary, it was actually, you found some fantastic views when you were looking for plants.
Yeah, it gives you a reason to explore planets, which is great.
But I do have to agree with Stephen that, you know, it has now been 3 years. It's, apart from one upping the price or upping the reward for going scanning, nothing else has been done with plant scanning. I mean, I don't know, you know, no more plants have been added, no more mechanics have been added. It just feels like it's been left.
Red-headed stepchild.
No, the thing is, the thing that's really tricky with that is how do you add more plants without adding more planets? Because am I right in saying that the more plant life is that stuff that you can only find on atmospheric planets, or can you find
That's
them
correct,
anywhere?
Yeah.
You
Okay,
you can find most of the plants on atmospherics only.
Okay, so the stuff that you could find before on non-atmospherics are still on the non-atmospherics, but they're not labeled as much. Am I right? But you can't find any of the new stuff on the non-atmospherics.
That's right.
Or okay, right. So theoretically, then the only way that Frontier add more plant life is by adding more thicker atmospheres to planets, and then give us a more variety of plant life.
Not necessarily, because the way that the new planetary, well, I say new, it's 3 years old now, but the newer planetary engine works is that each planet is breaking down into genomes, geological areas, so that different plants can be found in those areas. So if you put a new plant in to the genome, then that plant will start appearing in planets with that genome.
So how do we justify those plants suddenly growing and appearing?
Could they not roll it out where if a planet has already been discovered, then the new one wouldn't appear? However, if a planet is currently undiscovered, then
that would be the only way that they could do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be the only way of doing it without introducing new things. Because otherwise, I mean, can you imagine the amount of sort of I've 100%ed all the plants within X amount of systems or something, and then suddenly they just tack on another 5. Life finds a way, yeah.
Life might find a way, but I want realism in my space game.
Where's my new plants come from?
Do we want new plants? I don't.
You've had Space Charlie Dimmock fly between all the other planets, and she's been dropping seeds everywhere. How's that?
Yeah. I don't really get that new plants would bring much, though, Colin. To be honest, I mean, I hear you. It's been 3 years.
Well, no,
just doubling the number of plants isn't going to change anything.
Well, no, I mean, I need the mechanics as well. I mean, obviously, you go there, you scan something. I mean, maybe it might be nice to actually, I hate to say this, mine them.
Yeah.
Resource collect them.
Yeah, we could look for underground, like roots, underground
plants.
Yeah. Ways for those things that you've picked up to be refined into something else, for instance, or materials.
Yeah.
There are things we can do.
Okay.
Colin's making ratatouille.
Last but certainly not least, Commander Terakov has been in touch and says,
"Wow.
I feel that with Odyssey, the focus of gameplay moved further towards combat and away from the other two main ED careers, trading and exobiology. It's difficult to see what could have been added to trading, possibly trader NPCs maybe in stations offering special and haggleable deals. Possibly black market NPCs could be found lurking behind stacks of cargo. I love that. Exploration has a number of deficiencies or missed opportunities. The new Planet Gen model was added, as was exobiology. We still only have tenuous atmosphere bodies, but a slip from Dr. K. Ross suggested that tenuous atmosphere bodies were the first tranche of new planet types. I do not hold hope of those appearing now. Exobiology needed and had the scope to be fleshed out more after the Odyssey release, but instead it was cut back. The DSS planet overlay was simplified rather than improved, and quite rightly, the scanning Twitch game removed. Thank you, Terakov.
Yes.
The Twitch minigame could have been replaced with a better scanning mechanic. For example, payout based on a sample quality value derived from how many scans you chose to take, the scan diversity, and which parts of the plant you sample. The real biggie for exobiology is the lack of scanners to locate the bios. In the ship, we only have the DSS mask, and that's only in Super Cruise. In the SLV and on foot, we only have the good old Mark 1 eyeball. We don't even have a way to know if we have strayed outside the area where the bio might be. A close second would be to add the ability to upgrade the genetic sampler to be able to handle multiple samples, possibly as a suit upgrade, unlocked by activities or achievements earned through doing exploration or exobiology. I see many calls for ship interiors. IMO, that would be cool, but of passing interest. Thank you, Terakov. I knew I liked you. Why spend 15 minutes going back into the ship and hammering your FSD when you can fire up an AFMU and do a reboot repair in seconds? The popularity of FCO underlines the community desire for expediency in game mechanics. I wish I had an applause that I could play. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. None of that interests me at all in the slightest, but I understand where it has its place in the game.
Yeah. No, I when I was doing exploration, I agree with every single point that he's made. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spot on, and articulated it better than I did. So there you go. Well, that brings us to the end, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Thank you so much to everyone who contributed there. That was very, very cool. It's very cool when we put out a question and everyone answers in such a cool way. Another question will be out on Sunday at some point between 12 and 2, usually UK time. So keep an eye on Twitter.
It should be sometime between 12 and 3, really, shouldn't it?
No, it's definitely 100% only going to be between 12 and 2. There is also, come and join our Discord. The links that you can find, links to everything you can find on the contact us section of our website. So come and join us and answer the question of the week in Discord or on Twitter. Those are the two places that I post it because I refuse to engage with any other social media. And Twitter is on shaky ground at the moment.
I hate to say this, and I feel dirty for saying this. I almost prefer Instagram over Twitter these days.
Agreed.
And I feel dirty for saying that.
I'm enjoying Threads, and Threads doesn't even work as I've got half the stuff that Twitter has.
Threads is Facebook as well.
Threads makes no sense to me. I spend hours upon hours on TikTok. I love it so much, but it's not a forum where we can get a response from our community, which is what the question of the week is for. So and Threads, I just don't engage with enough, and there's not enough people engaged with it. But you know what? Twitter exists, and come and join our Discord.
Sai,
what up?
Is there a social media thing which allows you to essentially record yourself saying the question of the week, and then people could record video messages back?
100% probably, but I
don't know what it is.
But no. There definitely is. There definitely are ways that we can do that, but we're not going to do that. We're going to continue with it writing because
I'm sorry,
video responses are in. We're not adding to our text work of putting video responses into.
Oh God,
into
no.
this. Yeah. Can you fucking imagine? Absolutely not.
Next, you'll be asking for voicemails to be left. No.
Shelve that. Shelve the shit out.
Please send us mail to PO Box.
No.
Has anybody got any other business before I do the shoutouts?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Okay then, our sister station Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or just go and use the for the audio at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're giving out shout-outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts who have appeared. That's the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. We have All Right to the Loose Screws, which is horrible, and I will kill the groundskeeper Willy person that they do over there. And following on this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejuice. Thanks, of course, go to everybody who's chipped in the Twitch chat, and in-game commanders who have annoyed you at the table, Ben and Chris.
We have had Epaphras, we have had Electro Ace, we've had Andy Sharp 42, and Real Merle all joining us in the bar.
Excellent. So, special thanks, of course, go to Commander Tokuso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have all created music that we use on this show. But that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. We'd like to, if you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find all the contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you've got any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So thanks to the Chris Mark IV for jumping in.
You're welcome.
There he is.
Every time he goes quiet, I think I've been cut off again.
Sorry.
This is like face-off round here now.
I was busy saluting Little Bigian in the bar. I'm sorry.
Thanks to Ben.
Oh, Fewer.
Thank you.
Thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin. Buckybill Race runs till Sunday.
Thanks to Claire.
It's really fun. You should definitely do it. 07, folks.
And of course, special thanks to today's tech specialist, the wonderful Commander Ventura.
You're welcome.
So until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word. Space can be lonely. I'm going to see the galaxy.
Damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 28th of May 3310. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, the Anti-Xeno Initiative declares war on humanity. The Thargoid War has changed. And the Pilots Federation zookeepers might, just might, be about to give us a glimpse of the Lakon Type 8.
Titan Hadad has now been destroyed, but
In the 24 hours leading up to that momentous event, the Anti-Xeno Initiative deliberately attacked and destroyed hundreds of human AX pilots. The time between the destruction of the final pineapple ring of the thermal core, which happened at 3:30 on Saturday morning, and the moment the Titan overheats and explodes exactly 24 hours later, is an opportunity to rescue kidnapped human hostages and to ruthlessly butcher fleeing Thargoids, which are curiously incurious and just want to get away from the Titan as fast as they can. The problem is that the AX pilots, the ones that show up on the radar as solid squares, provoke the fleeing Thargoids into a far more aggressive attack mode, which makes the farming of Pilots Federation bounties far more stressful. The AXI consequently issued instructions to its members to kill those AX pilots before turning their sights on the Thargoids. This may not have been a highly moral stance, but it was effective. So many 40 million credit combat bonds were claimed for the destruction of Orthra's interceptors that the Pilots Federation has announced that it has decreased the bounty to 15 million credits, while increasing the reward for destroying interceptors capable of fighting back. Killing a Hydra is now worth 60 million credits, and the Basilisk, Medusa and Cyclops are all now worth more than an Orthrus. Pilots who witness the Titan explode are pushed back to a place of safety. However, pilots who went to sleep in their cockpits near the Titan, due to the very late time of the explosion, woke to find themselves deep within the highly caustic perimeter and were able to admire the destroyed Titan from relatively close up, prior to their ship dissolving away around them. The next Titan on the list is Indra. With more than 100 controlled systems, it will be much more of a challenge than Titans Tyrannus, Legong, Oya and Haddad. However, the rules of engagement have changed this week, bringing some hope that the Thargoid War might be over by Christmas.
Fighting back the Thargoid invasion could get easier, according to new information released over the weekend. With the increase in combat bonds for most types of interceptor, combat is likely to be a more effective way to oppose the Thargoids. Sabotage at the spire sites, missions and rescue operations will henceforth all have more impact. But there's more. Instead of a gradual curve of vulnerability, Titans will be either virtually impregnable, if they have 4 or more systems under their control, or, if they have 3 or fewer controlled systems, they will be vulnerable. Now, there will be no doubt about whether it's time to attack the Titan. But how do we retake all those controlled systems? Well, firstly, it will still be harder to win back systems that are closer to the Titan, but it will no longer be exponentially harder. Taking those last few systems should now be more easily achievable. Helpfully, anti-Xeno combat zones will be present in all systems controlled by the weakest of the remaining Titans, that is, the Titan with the fewest controlled systems. Secondly, and this does all sound a bit complicated, performing any sort of anti-Xeno work in a spire site system also impacts the 10 furthest controlled systems from the Titan. This is more dynamic than it once was, so as soon as some of those systems reach 100%, the effects caused by actions in the spire site system will start benefiting the next most distant systems. Actions in a spire site can do as much as 85% of the work towards winning back those distant systems. So if 15% has already been achieved in system, that system will hit 100% and be returned from Thargoid control on the next Thursday. If a spire site is taken back, the impact will be the full 85% on the 10 most distant systems. Thirdly, those 10 most distant systems will be clearly labelled as Counter-Strike systems, as will the furthest spire site from the Titan, making it clear which systems are the most vulnerable and can be won back first. Will this all help to make winning the Thargoid War easier? Probably. Will the majority of pilots still not have the faintest idea how it all works? Almost certainly.
The next edition of the Pilots Federation Monthly Showcase is nearly upon us. The so-called Frontier Unlocked holovid takes place every 4 or 5 weeks and is used as a platform for members of the Pilot Federation to show off their hobbies, including motorcar racing, keeping pets, designing roller coasters, fighting battles with mythical monster armies and recreating long-dead lizards. In addition to all that frippery, there is believed to be a greater than zero chance that they might give us an early preview of the Lakon Type 8, rumoured to be a bulk hauler which, like the Python Mark II, will be able to make more efficient and manageable use of the Achilles Aerospace Supercruise overcharged frameshift drive. So, if you want to be able to haul Hutton mugs efficiently in a ship that's too big to dock at Hutton Orbital, be sure to tune in and see.
And that's this week's Galnet News. And if you've been wondering why you haven't heard from us much recently, there has been one Galnet article published in the last 3 weeks.